In this section, you'll find out how to create, publish, and access a web form, and how a basic web form is structured. Let's build the delivery task creation web form from the ground up, starting with its most important controls. You could argue that there are perhaps more essential details of a delivery task, but the name of the driver, the name of the client, and the associated date seem like a pretty good starting point. Webforms files have the .fls.xml extension. Create the new task.fls.xml file with your favorite text editor and save it in the Rocky Jupyter folder. The Webforms language is XML-based and uses an SQL-Lite-like syntax for queries. Let's walk through the required declarations that make a web form. Elements inside the web forms are in the http://schemas.mobilengine.com/fls/v1 namespace. The namespace declaration is required on the root form element, just like the ID and menu name attributes. The ID lets you reference this form in workflow scripts and reports on the Mobilengine cloud, and the menu name is the name of the form in the browser UI. The platforms attribute is a list of platforms the form targets. This one is for the web only. With the mandatory attributes out of the way, you can start adding the controls you need. A text box element declares a text box control for the text input. None of its attributes are required. You use the ID attribute because you'll want to use the value of this control in a workflow script later. The user will enter the name of the assigned driver in the driver text box. The value in label is the non-editable text that the browser displays next to controls. Width sets the width of controls in the form. It only takes m units. The value in text is the optional text for the text box that the user can delete or edit. The default is an empty string. The text box with the ID equals client attribute is used to add the name of the client. Use the label equals client and width equals 30m attributes. Lines determine how many lines the text box will have. 1 is the default, but because our clients might have long-winded names, 2 is a safe bet. The date picker element declares a control for date input. First, you need a date picker for the date of the purchased order. The ID equals PO date attribute specifies the value that you will be able to use in the workflow script to address the control. Add a label so the user knows what to do with it. The date format attribute that defines the format used to display and parse a date value is something a date picker control, understandably, can't live without. Create another date picker control for the delivery date. Time to try out your new creation. Save the form and publish it via the Mobilengine build tool using the run command like you did countless times before. No difference between mobile and web forms here. To actually see the form, log into the Webforms site. When you are on the site, click the New Task header in the Webforms group in the top left-hand corner. When the form is good and open, see just what you've been up to so far. When you click in the text box, you can enter your custom text. When you click into the purchase order date control, a date picker pops up and you can select a date. Neat! Without a workflow script to handle the submitted data, this form is useless, but don't lose heart. Let build it first, make it work later be your motto, and head on to the next section.